Hi.
Oh my God. Hi. I'm nervous.
Oh my gosh. All right. So it's only probably not even an hour, so there's no need to be nervous. You'll be awesome. I'm sure you have so much knowledge to spill on us. I'm so excited.
Okay.
See, young Mila saying, "Hey, Layanne.
Hi,
Hey, Lay. See,
Joanna. Hi, Misha.
the
Hi,
penny section
guys.
is here.
They don't reach yet, because boy, they're gonna create too much
Woo!
excitement in the comment section. I just know that.
I'm here for all of it. All right, welcome, Layanne. We have an interesting conversation awaiting us, and I'm so excited to get started. So, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, tell us what you do, tell us a little bit about your journey, about your career.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening, Jamaica. My name is Layanne Bloomfield, manufacturing and community pharmacist.
All right. Oh my gosh, I'm just here for the penny section. Okay. All right. So, tell us a little bit about what that is. I know a lot of persons will they hear the word pharmacist, but manufacturing pharmacist, community pharmacist, what's the difference? What does that mean?
Okay, so as a manufacturing pharmacist, I'm involved in the drug processing and development side of the pharmaceutical industry. So we're the ones who are involved in making the drugs. So as a manufacturing pharmacist, I'm pretty hands-on in a lot of the management parts to the job. I have to enforce good manufacturing practices and ensure that it's in accordance to standard operating procedures that are written by quality assurance and quality control personnel, as well as myself. I'm responsible for the overall safety and sterility of the facility, because if you're making drugs, the place has to be not only safe for the drugs and the workers, but sterile. The place has to be clean. And I liaise with government entities that are involved in the drug manufacturing and distribution processes. So, like the Ministry of Health, Pharmacy Council. I work in the cannabis industry, so I have to, have talks with the Cannabis Licensing Authority, sometimes the Bureau of Standards, Scientific Research Council. So, really and truly, I'm hands on with drug development. Yeah, so that's the
Right, that's a big
manufacturing
deal.
pharmacy. And
Yeah.
community pharmacy, well, Jerome explained that a couple of weeks ago, but community pharmacy, sorry, the braces make it so hard. Community pharmacists, we are first line essential health workers who are
Right.
responsible for drug therapy management of patients. We are responsible for counseling patients on their drug conditions and as well as their medications. We provide counseling, sexual health counseling. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of nervous, but you get the gist. So
Right.
with me now,
Okay.
I'm responsible for both ends. So making of the drug and dispensing the drug. So I kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And I can see how your personality would fit in with a community pharmacist. Like you're very friendly, you're energetic, you'd be good at explaining what I keep saying customer, what the persons need.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, love that. Your penny section saying job enforcer, it's a really big job. Tin mouth, yeah. All right, thank you for explaining that for us. All right, so that's a big job. Is it that you, uh, what's that? How does that interact with your family life or your social? Well, we don't really have a social life right now, but
Right.
um, how does that impact your social life? Is it a lot of standing? What are your hours like? How do you balance both?
Okay. So manufacturing, that's my 9 to 5. So there's no time for socializing there. I'm not always on my feet. Um, I'm sitting down most of the time, or if I'm on my feet, I'm out in the farm or in the lab with the chemists. But it's not as stressful as working in a community setting, because in the community pharmacy, I am always standing. And my hours in a community pharmacy can go from 5 hours to a 12-hour shift. So yes, I'd be there from like 8 to 8. Okay. Um, but in the manufacturing setting, it's 9 to 5, and then I can have a social life or go on visits after. in the community setting, the hours can start from as early as 8 o'clock and you can end as late as 11. Well, now that we're in a panini press, everybody stops at everybody stops at 6. But before, you have pharmacies closing at 10, 11 o'clock. You have 24-hour pharmacy, so it depends on the pharmacy that you work at. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's helpful. All right, so guys, if you're interested in being a community pharmacist, it's long hours. Okay. All right. So, was it that you always wanted to be a pharmacist? I see questions coming in, but I'll go to those in a second.
Okay.
Oh, before we go to that one, Sasheen asks, has your workload increased due to COVID-19?
For me, no, because my 9 to 5 is in a manufacturing setting, so it's basically the same. Nothing has changed. But in the community setting, the workload has lightened because I only freelance. So I'm not stationed in a pharmacy Monday to Friday. I come in whenever somebody needs a pharmacy. So if you have somebody who's off on maternity leave, somebody's sick, or a pharmacist who can't bother going to work. And
I'm not sure, but we're still here.
what just
Yay!
happened? Was it me or was it you?
It just froze. I'm not sure. It just froze and then, Ooh, sorry. All right, so I was asking Boneski's
I don't
question before
know.
we get into the other question. It's fine. We're back. We're back like we never left.
You're kind of moving in slow mo.
Oh, maybe it's me then.
It
Is it
ended.
still slow?
Okay.
Still slow? Oh, good.
A
Okay,
little bit. You're
Boneski asked,
lagging for
oh
me.
no, that's
Yeah, you're
okay.
lagging for me.
Okay, is there a special training to understand doctor's handwriting?
Oh, no, 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 no. There is no special training at all. We are forced to read doctor's handwriting. Luckily, we know
Wow,
we're familiar with what the drugs are, and if we see a script coming over time for a particular doctor, we know that okay, this line is amoxicillin, and this scribble and slash is carvedilol. But we're not trained to read bad penmanship. Doctors just don't write properly. I don't know why they're in such a rush to write the scripts. Just take your time and write it. Somebody said to me once that it's probably because the doctors don't remember the drug name, so they just kind of scribble something and hope that we figure it out. But
that would make
yeah,
sense.
but no, we're not trained to read handwriting, doctor's handwriting.
Sadly. Okay, hello, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. I'm sorry. She asks, where do you work?
Okay, so for my community job, I work on the North Coast, so different pharmacies across Montego Bay, Hanover, Trelawney, and my manufacturing job, I the facility is in Trelawney, up in the bushes, away from everybody. Yeah,
Okay.
can't really give the name. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but
He asked who has Flo. Sadly me, so it's probably mine. We're not going to
oh,
bash Flo today though. Not today. Alright. So I wouldn't trust a doctor who writes well. Shashin, that's not nice. Alright. Are you able to sample different products y'all produce? Well, don't think so.
um, yes, we can. I mean, I'm there all the time making these things, so the chemist may give me a little vial or something to try or to rub on, and I have to know what's going out there, so I have to smell everything, I have to taste it, I have to try it on, I have to put it in my hair, whatever the case may be. And if I want people to trust that our product is safe for use and consumption, I should be able to use it too. 100% guarantee that it's safe. So I try it every now and again. Hmm.
Alright, that sounds good. Alright, so let's get back to the next question. I was making sure I get all the questions. Alright, so was it that you always wanted to be a pharmacist? Not hearing me?
No, no, no. I think you're lagging. But I'm answering the question
Oh,
now. No, I didn't always want to be a pharmacist. So when I was younger, I wanted to be one of four things. I wanted to save the planet, protect the animals, help people, and dance. I didn't know what would have happened with all four of these things, but I know that I wanted to do something with the planet, animals, helping people, and dance. So when I got to fifth form, sixth form, and I started to, pick my subjects and apply for university, I applied for med. I applied for environmental sciences and earth sciences, so like oceanography, geology, climatology, meteorology, things like that. And I also applied for pharmacy. I'll stick a pin on that. Um, I'm not a stranger. I wasn't a stranger to the pharmaceutical industry because my parents worked in the industry side of it. So in the distribution industry side of it. So my dad, he was a rep and then rose to a managerial position with companies like Hopwood and NASA, Johnson Johnson, AstraZeneca, who's giving.
All right. Hopefully it stays now because I don't know what's happening. All right.
So where did I
Yes,
leave off?
we can blame Plum now. Sure. All right. You were explaining that your parents are work in the pharmaceutical industry as well. They're mid reps and stuff like that. And then, so you were always exposed to that. That's
Yes, I
your
was
word.
always exposed to that, but it was at the top of my career list, but I applied anyway because it's something that I'm familiar with, and I got in. So hey, why not? So I got into most of my universities except for med, but my parents encouraged me to pursue pharmacy because they thought it was more practical. I would become a pharmacist and I can own a pharmacy and life would be good. It's more stable as opposed to doing, I don't know, studying rocks and then what do I do after? And baby boomers or parents, they can't really see past doctor, lawyer, nurse, politician. Anything outside
Right.
of that spectrum is just like, what are you going to do with yourself? So they said,
Not stable.
yes, not stable. So go with the pharmacist. So I said, okay, why not? And that's how I got in. But the journey was not great at all. I I didn't grasp any of my coursework well. I failed almost every course. I was not enjoying pharmacy school at all. I didn't really have that many friends in my cohort, in my class. I had friends from engineering and architecture, and I was always at UE hanging out, but never in my faculty. And when you're transitioning from, nice, naive teenager to confused adult, it's hard to kind of
Right.
navigate that space, friendships, and you start dating people and all of that. So it was a pretty rocky ride for me. And for a long time, I was just like, why did I decide to do pharmacy? Imagine if I was in Canada studying climate change. I would have been great. But here I am, stuck with a bachelor of pharmacy course that I don't think I'm going to finish. What am I going to do with myself? Um, so I had to take a semester off from school because I really needed some time to regroup and figure out what I was going to do next. And I had a lecturer and a pharmacist, one of my mentors, I could say. She came to me and she said, give it one more shot. Like you're here for a reason, so just finish the degree. Finish it, and then when you're done, you can go off and study whatever else that you want. You can run up and down and chase chicken, but just get the degree done. I said,
Right.
fine, okay. So I came back with a fresh new mindset. All of my original classmates were gone, but I met the current set of friends that I have now. Amazing support system, big up Pet Farm, and things started to pick up. I started to love pharmacy a little bit more, especially the more practical parts of it, because that's when we started going on externship and internship. So now in the hospital, I was on the ward with the doctors and I was interacting with patients and I was really hands-on with drug therapy and that's what I really loved. Um, but then closer to graduation, I went on a downward spiral because not every and anybody can be a clinical pharmacist. Then you have to
Oh,
get in. And my grades didn't say clinical pharmacy at all. So I felt like I'd be stuck in the dispensary. No, I don't, I'm not the biggest. I just felt
no,
like
fluorine.
it wasn't where I belonged. I felt like I had so much more potential. Like I felt like
You explained your journey that you didn't enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so you didn't enjoy, you weren't passionate about pharmacy when you just started it, and your heart was
mm,
somewhere else, and that's where we were when we were rudely interrupted. So yeah,
uh, lagging a lot.
okay,
Mm-mm.
not
So am I
today.
fine? Guys, in the comment section, tell me who is lagging. Oh, tell me who's fine. Am I fine? Is Shanae fine? What's going on? Because your thing is like
Okay,
it's loading, it's lagging. I should probably sing while I'm here in the meantime.
the funny thing, it's
Guys,
fine
can
for
somebody
me.
tell me? And it's fine for me, but everybody says we're both fine, so I don't know.
Okay,
All right, so yeah, I was. What did I? Somebody said I left off at graduation.
you
That's what I
went
thought.
downhill
Right.
after
So
graduation.
right, because now I was faced with a decision to make. Where am I going to work when I'm finished with the degree? So it's not like I was passionate about community pharmacy that I wanted to pursue it like my colleagues. So what else is left for me? I didn't think I was worthy enough to be a clinical pharmacist because I didn't have the grades to match, even though I loved it. But here we are. What do I do? So I was freaking out about it again, just like when I was, when I just started out. Why didn't I go away and do what I wanted to do? Why didn't I follow my passions or anything? So I decided to again take some time away from pharmacy. Not just a semester, I took a year off. So my licensing exam was the Friday. I went to I Love Soca the Saturday. And then Monday, I went to Europe. At, what did I tell you? It's a bit early to 8:36. You're breaking my flow here. So I had gone to Europe to teach English. And it was a really good experience. It was a little bit awkward at first because I had to teach little kids aged 4 to 9 thereabouts, and I never taught kids anything before. I stood up in front of class and this is banana, this is apple, this is yam. I don't like, and they're just staring at me, and then I'm speaking English and they just know French, you know,
Oh,
language barrier here. So I had to figure out a way to get across to them, and it was taking me a while. Also, the other language assistants, they've done this before, so they were naturals. But for me, I had to figure something out. So I was like, why don't I just perform for them? I love to dance and I can sing a little, and I'm very dramatic. So why don't I just throw that into the job instead? So every single class I went to, I danced through every lesson, I sing through every lesson, and I acted all drama, and they loved it. If I had to sing about pineapples are yellow and tomatoes are red, I did that for every single class. The kids love it, the teachers love it. I got through to them and I was having a blast. So teaching wasn't awkward for me anymore, and I figured out a way around it. I was able to throw something that I really loved into my job, and it makes it so amazing for me. So with that perspective, I was thinking about what do I do when I go back home, because all good things must come to an end. So, on my return to Jamaica, I was just thinking, what am I gonna do now? I have this pharmacy degree. I have to do something with it. Um, and I don't want to go back into the dispensary at all. So what am I gonna do? So I started brainstorming and then I decided to focus on the four things that I loved and I always wanted to do or be involved in when I was little. So I said, okay, let me try the animals now. That's when I jumped into veterinary pharmacy. I actually worked at JSPCA one summer in a capacity of a veterinary pharmacy intern, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So when I came back, I said, okay, why don't I apply for a job at JSPCA? But they didn't really have any job openings, and veterinary pharmacy isn't that big in Jamaica. You know, Jamaicans don't really
Yes.
care about animals like that compared
Not
to
really.
North America and Europe. So I decided to volunteer instead. So if I can't make a money off of it, let me at least get involved because it's something that I love to do. So it won't seem like a big chore to me. So I volunteered on my free Saturdays, and then I got into medical represent. I became a medical representative for my 9 to 5. And things were great. Being a medic was nice. I got to just all nice every day and walk around in my heels, clickety clack, and talk to doctors and give out samples and eat all these cute doctors. And, and then on my weekends, I got to work with the animals and I got to engage the vets and learn about animal medicines. I got to, give, and I still do, just to give animals vaccinations, really be hands on with their drug therapy. And what I realized is that I enjoyed the little 4 or 5 hours volunteering more than I did as a med rep. Yes, the money was nice and the perks about meeting people and all of that, but I didn't feel like I was growing or walking in my purpose or anything like that as a rep. But I did when I was volunteering. So I said, I think I need to really figure out how I can make my 9 to 5 something that I love to do. So not only do something in pharmacy, but try to combine my passion or my interest with my 9 to 5, just like with veterinary pharmacy. So when I decided to start searching for opportunities, that is when Corona descended upon us, like the plague that it is. And it just stopped everything for me. Like I was planning to go away, I was planning to apply to all these wonderful places, and reach out to all these people. But we're in the middle of a pandemic. Where am I going? What am I doing? And I was a little depressed and sad, but I decided to press on anyway. I got in touch with a few industry players and I just handed out my resume and I just keep pushing, I keep having a conversation. I kept praying about it, that something would come through for me. And then one day, I think it was on Monday, I got a call from my current boss saying, "Hi, is this Layanne?" Like, hello. Hi, my name is such and such, and I am the president of such and such company, and I got your resume from such and such person. I was like, who is this person? Okay. And you're recommended for this position. I said, recommended? That is a heavy word, my friend, but okay. Sure, I'll hear what you have to say. And then he told me about the position that it's a medicinal cannabis company and they needed a pharmacist because you can't have a manufacturing facility making and producing active pharmaceutical ingredients without a pharmacist. So they needed somebody on board. And then a little after that, I joined the company. And it's just funny how things work out because I wanted to save the planet and be outside with the trees and the bees and all the plants in this industry. I get to combine science and um, plants
Nature.
and nature,
Right.
right? I'm out there in the field with the farmers, planting seeds, watching them grow, giving them all my love. And then I bring them into the lab and I'm with the chemists processing, extracting the crude to make medication to help people. It's just so crazy how things work out when you just keep at it. When you keep pushing through, when you keep believing, when you keep having faith, you just don't give up. I didn't let the pandemic stop me. I didn't let me not having the grades stop me. I didn't let fear of not being qualified enough because I've never done manufacturing before. I know nothing about pharmaceutical biotechnology. I don't know anything about enzymes. I didn't do that well at chemistry, but my heart was in it. So God gave me a chance. He's like, okay, let me see what you can do. And here I am working in a agricultural, call it a pharmaceutical, pharma agricultural industry
Right.
while volunteering as a veterinary pharmacist volunteer. So I kind of get the best of both worlds where my passions are concerned. So it's been a bumpy ride, but we made it. We did it, Joe. We did it,
We're still
Joe.
going. We're still going. I love that. And I love
I'm
that
still
you were
here,
able
or
to
is it just me?
pivot. I'm still breaking up.
Oh no, you're frozen again.
So calming down. All right. I'm not gonna um be mad at Flo today because this is
You're
not working out for
lagging.
me.
You're lagging. Guys, tell me what's going on.
I don't know how to fix it.
Why can't this thing let us be great?
Ah, that's so cool, fellow farmer. That's so cool. It's still loading. It's loading for me now too. My end, when you say your end, who you mean?
Am I going to have to end this live? Why is this just not working? I
They're
Oh, it's
saying
back.
no lag here. Okay, back for me too. Yay! All right, so there it goes.
Oh.
All right, so that was my last official question, but I'm just glad that you were able to use your story of your journey to motivate us, that you were able to pivot, you were able to learn in different capacities, you were able to volunteer. I love
Mhm.
that. I know sometimes we think we figure out what we want, and then when we try something new, our hearts open to accept the new things, or we're able to wrap what we love with what we do, and I'm happy that you were able to do that or continuing to do
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. I love that for me, truly.
I do too. We had another question. Somebody was asking how long you studied to become a pharmacist, I think, but I think we lost it. Um,
Oh, damn.
yeah, we lost that. But how long do you study to become a pharmacist?
All right, so pharmacy school lasts for 4 years, and then you have 1 year of internship. So call it 5 years. So you have your 4 years at UTech, and then 1 year of internship, and then the exam, pass it, and you're a pharmacist.
Okay. All right. And another person was asking, how would you motivate an individual, or what would you say to an individual who's torn in their journey? I think I don't remember the end of it, but if the person is on still and you remember the question that you said, can you send it back? I think it was something about how would you motivate an individual, or what would you say to an individual that is torn between pharmacy and something else?
I I don't want to be cliche and say pray about it because I prayed about it and um I mean I didn't get answers off the bat. I just have to keep trying to figure it out. And what I would say is that this is a tough question because I don't want to say anything cliche now because I don't want to say like, oh, just keep pushing and even though it's miserable and hard, you'll get through it. It was miserable and hard and I got through it, but my story may not be the same for someone else.
Right.
Um, but just think about what you love to do. Um, what is it that sets your soul on fire? And see how best whatever you want to do aligns with that. How can you get closer to that? I was torn between pharmacy and going off and studying something with environmental sciences, but I was just stuck with pharmacy. So I decided to use pharmacy to take me closer into the areas that I wanted to be in. And it took a while to figure out, but things do work. But once you put in the work and you're determined You're consistent at what you do. You ask the questions, you do the research. Things do eventually fall into place. It does.
Right.
It gets better.
Great answer. And you also included that you were able to pause and put your attention on something that you love, and eventually we can see from your journey that you got to where or something that would have worked for you and that you
Mm-hmm.
are passionate about. So I would definitely include that as well. Don't be afraid to pause. It might look different to somebody else, but trust me, that moment where you can catch your breath and say, hey, that's really not working out.
Yeah.
Um, that definitely helps.
Yeah. Taking time
What
to figure
is
it out is good. It's always, you just don't quit, but just take a minute, reassess, get your house in order, and just continue. Yeah.
seriously, I think that's the person's handle. What if you don't know what? Can you finish that? I'm not sure what you were asking. Can you finish that question, please? All
Which
right,
question?
so let me see if I missed any question. Not seeing anymore. Okay. All right, you go ahead and finish that question. We'll wait for you. We'll give you a minute.
Which question? Me or somebody's typing
So
it?
somebody, their initial is seriously something. And they
Oh.
said, what if you don't know what, oh, here it is. What if you don't know what career path you want to choose?
Whew.
I want to
All
help
right.
with this one, so go ahead.
If you don't know what career path to choose, write down what your interests are. So write anything that sparks your interest, things that you like to read about, things that you like to get yourself involved in. Just write it down. And even things that you loved when you were a child. So if you love to paint, if you love to throw Play-Doh, so just write it all down. And then sit and look at that list and try to build off of that list. So that's what I would encourage somebody to do. If you're not sure, just dig deep, write it down, the interests, things that you like, things that you're always passionate about, things that spark your curiosity, and then kind of just weigh the pros and cons. Okay, so this is what I like. What career path can I take with this particular interest? What would I need to study? You know, what do some research online, see who is involved in that particular industry that you'd like to get advice from, and you can take it from there. So it's really just about trying your hand at things. You have to try.
Love that.
It
And I
may
want
take
to
a
add
while,
to
but
that.
it'll be worth it in the end.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
All right, so after you do your research and you've found something that you think might be interesting to you, we have a whole platform created for persons who may not be sure what they want to do or what that career path would look like. And we have some awesome minds. Layanne is one of them. And you can interact with them at themindsoff.com, and they'll, trust me, they'll give you advice. They will tell you what the field is like. They'll give you a little bit about the lifestyle. We have it all for you. So go ahead and check them out at themindsoff.com.
Can I see some
All
questions?
right. So now that we're wrapping up, thank you so much, Leanne, for your time
Ask
today.
this
If you
question.
guys have any more questions for her, okay.
Yeah, ask your questions.
I see more coming in. So there's one that says, yeah, they were helping with your question as well. What do you want to do next, whether pharmacy or otherwise? That's for you, Leanne. It sounds like it's for you.
Okay, so what I want to do next, I don't know if I'm gonna bust no secret on this, but next I want to dive deeper into pharmacognosy. You know, pharmacognosy is the study of how would I say it? Herbs and plants in drug making. So it's like how people use ginger and boil it and drink it as tea and say it helps with their pressure and their blood sugar.
Yes.
As a pharmacognosist or a pharmaceutical scientist, I'd be able to extract whatever particular compound from the ginger and put it into a medication, a pill for you to take. Voila. So that's an area that I'm looking into. Yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely.
It's still a
That
trial and
sounds
error
awesome.
process because we're still in a pandemic, and again, not a lot of these areas are available out here. So I have to just put in the work and do what I have to do and get things
Ooh,
started.
somebody's asking, the person who asked that says big business. I love that response. All right, somebody else, it's loading for me again.
And
Hopefully it comes back because we're
so,
wrapping
so,
up.
so. Okay, you're
It's
back.
back.
Okay.
Okay, so another question was, what was your overall experience studying at UTech like? I don't know if,
Oh
yeah,
God.
I don't know if you
Uh,
want to share.
no, else is fine. UTech is a wonderful institution. Everybody had different experiences. For me, I had my heart set on either UE or foreign. So I was not mentally prepared to go to UTech. And because a lot of my friends from high school, they had gone to UE or they had gone away. So my experience, I was a little bit lonely at first. And then I found a nice group of friends, but again, they weren't in my faculty. They were across the different faculties at UTech. So the social scene was pretty good in terms of the course. It wasn't bad. I was just having challenges because I was still trying to figure out what was my place there, what was my purpose, if I really want to do it or not. So I was struggling academic wise, but the social scene is great.
So there's always that. I don't know if they have that anymore, much anymore with the panorama and everything.
Right, everything's online. And I can't imagine studying pharmacology and CPC and all these things online. I props to everybody doing it right now because that's a lot.
Right.
Mm-mm.
All right, so that's all the questions we're going to take for now. If you do have more questions for Layanne, you will definitely be able to go to themindsOf.com and you can interact with her as a mind. We also have other minds there, so feel free to browse, check them out. They all have a wealth of experience to share. And, ooh, love that, Sinister. I don't want to pronounce that
Pharmacology
wrong.
nice. Sinister Ace. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look like ace.
pharmacology is nice. Not bad. Nice.
Oh, you got
It's nice
random.
course. Any more questions, guys? I'm sorry the live was like this. I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
expect it to be so choppy. I guess that's
same.
why some persons left because they just couldn't be bothered with the
Technical
signal.
issues.
Hmm.
I wanted you to say bye, but it's failing us. It's
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining. You can always DM me or, Shanae had said, jump on the Minds of Jamaica platform and ask any question. Boy,
it
the
well it
connection,
it worked.
but the
It worked.
vibes,
It
but the
works for as
move.
long as it could have worked, but thank you again. Bye guys.
Guys,
Bye
good
Leanne.
night. Bye.